So where we are with Project Origin right now is this is the 5th iteration soldier operational experiment, and we finally got access to a Special Forces to Operational Detachment, which is a next level caliber of soldiers that we've never had access to before. So the feedback we're getting is been excellent. It has been a level of feedback we haven't seen in the past. The Special Forces operators have given us really candid feedback. They've been able to take their experiences and apply it to the robotic combat vehicle and really give us feedback on how this could or couldn't be integrated into their formations in future conflicts.
This is an opportunity for us to get the Origin platforms with members of the Special Operations community. So we've been with Cav Unit, we've been with the Light Infantry, we've been with the enemy Light Infantry Unit, and now we're with the Special Operators. So they operate in a little bit different, smaller teams and a little more mobile. So we've been doing towing with the vehicle. We've been focusing on allowing the soldiers to use the system more, not dictating to them what they do. And it's been awesome. So they've been developing their own standard operating procedures of how they would use it, their tactics, techniques, and procedures on how they'd use it. We're finding out some rather unique use cases for it. And it's been really, really great. The ODA, the Operational Detachment Alpha, has been incredible in terms of thinking through employment with robotic systems. And the critical area is getting that robot out in front, they're behind, keeping them out of harm's way.
Our detachment is a military free-fall detachment. Special reconnaissance is our capability. We see this equipment being able to infill with us via air and carry our photography equipment as well as resupply heavy rocks. Usually we carry about 90 pounds per person when we infill, and we can offset some of that weight with the robot, as well as bigger weapon systems that we usually don't bring on a MFF infill.
This week we started primarily focusing on the individual soldier tasks of how we are supposed to employ the system, how we operate the system, utilizing the different controls that the system has with it, utilizing the weapons controller and how we can manipulate the crows or the modular weapon systems that can be employed on Project Origin. From there, we moved on into doing some dry fire exercises on an urban target. Since then, we've moved on into actually employing the system and doing static live fire ranges. Next week, we plan on moving into some actual full mission profiles, which will incorporate the Project Origin system in conjunction with the SFODA.
I'm out here to collaborate as much as I can and get a soft participation in the Project Origin program to see where the soft specific use cases are for this robotic technology. And this helps USOC as we work through our own robotic autonomous systems concepts and multi use cases on our level. So really I'm looking at how the ODA employs the platform, specific use cases, specifically what payloads they look for, and how they employ it on their various mission sets, because that then helps inform me and USOC as a whole, and helps us then codify all the tactics, techniques, and procedures that the ODA learns and uses in this training environment for our own formal robotic doctrine and concepts.
One of the most important things for us to learn here, collaborating with our Army partner, is how soldiers use these systems in the field. So when we have experiments like this and we put these technologies into soldiers' hands and let them integrate that into their concepts of operation, we get that good feedback to understand what's most effective and where improvements can be made to these enabling technologies that we put in their hands. So it's critical for us to get that feedback not only through our GVSC partners but also the soldiers on the ground.
After using the equipment, I believe that the robot will play a pretty good role in extending the barrier between ourselves and our reach. So we have our sensors that can look out a certain far distance, and then typically has been humans then proceeding. But now we can have the sensors followed by a line of robots followed by humans, which creates an additional barrier. The communication platform it uses is similar to ours. They're both IP based, so it allowed integration to be pretty seamless. The smoke system, usually for slightly more direct contact where we're in close proximity to the robot so that we can use the smoke.
It definitely requires a dedicated thought process, because now I've got a crow system that I'm familiar with but the weapon is dislocated from the actual element. Initially we fired 250 calibers, the two M2s. It's a 50 caliber machine gun. That was more the first day. Since then we moved on. We moved on from those guns and we've been shooting the 240 Bravos, the 7.62 Link machine gun. Those produce a pretty high rate of fire. They're pretty dangerous in terms of like taking down helicopters and stuff too, just because of the rate of fire. The hit probability goes way up. And with the Crow system, it's so accurate, man. Like you just laze it, you got your laze, and then it adjusts the gun to the optic itself, so you've got the correct elevation you need, and all you gotta worry about is deviation. There's fire control measures on the actual controller with the Crow system, so you can go continuous full, you can go burst slow. I mean, there's a lot of different options to use.
Probably the best portion for night ops is going to be that thermal capability increase and the increased view angle that you get from a drone. Having one aspect of view on the battlefield at ground level only gives you a certain ability to see, whereas from 200 feet in the air, it now greatly expands your field of view and your angles on targets and enhances your picture on a target objective or an observation area or anything else that you're covering. And thermals are really hard to replicate in most of our equipment. We have thermal binos, you have thermal sights for your weapons themselves, but something as adaptive and easily adjustable with both focus, scaling, white hot, black hawk, and all the various other functions on the drone and the Crow system is just a phenomenal capability to potentially just follow you around on a system.
We've been practicing bounding, and we're going to continue to do that throughout the rest of this exercise. So far we've bounded with the two robots by themselves and we've used spotters. We used a Mark 19 the other day. It's a fully automatic grenade launcher, 40 millimeters. And we were getting hits 500-600 meters, but immediately. Non-line of sight with a line of sight weapon. We were practicing that a little bit. There's a lot of different things you can do with that system.
I don't think there's going to be anything that ever replaces the value of the soldier on the battlefield. Just the ability of a soldier to think and adapt and react to situations and use critical thinking is never going to be replaced. However, we already know that our soldiers are overloaded, we have too many tasks, and as many of those that we can offload onto an autonomous system just makes the soldier that much more capable and frees up as much of their power as possible to begin using the human mind for what it's best used for. So it could be something as simple as just carrying weight, offloading from the soldier, or increasing their weapon capabilities, or increasing various other threats that we start to face in these near-peer environments.
We could definitely use is mobility to vary the different payloads that we want to use, mission dependent, whether this is a long-range reconnaissance or a deception, or it's just kind of electronic mechanism that we're trying to defeat. The Project Origin could definitely give us that mobility.
At this point, I see it best utilized as an enabling function with an operational detachment alpha conducting a direct action.
We've never had access to terrain like this. We're surrounded by rocky mountains. We have access to 360-degree range fans, which is something that is not typical in any Army installation. The terrain we've been able to traverse with the robots has been great. It's something we never had access to before. We got everything from desert flatlands to hills to sand dunes to rocky terrain, steep inclines, and just something we've never really had access to before. Dugway has given us a great means to test out the robots, really push them to their limits, and allow us to really reach maximum effective range with the weapon systems.
Next year we're planning on 4 soldier operational experiments. We're in the planning phase right now, picking the units, picking the locations. We're going to do 2 in the United States, and then we're going to do the third one will be overseas. And then the 4th operation is going to be kind of a culmination technology type event, where we're going to do a lot of live fire, and we're going to do some advanced autonomous movements.
We're a large organization, but we have great depth of knowledge and experience, things that we've learned over time, and these are lessons and capabilities, technologies that we bring to bear on these unique problem sets. So we have reach into not only other industry partners, but academia and with the government, and we can bring these technologies together on a very small platform, put it into the hands of soldiers with intuitive control and these innovative technologies that we push forward, not only the soldiers' capabilities, but also the technology field itself. So we're doing things with Project Origin and our MUT vehicle that haven't been done before. It's the assembly of these various technologies to create a competent, compact system that really enables that dismounted formation.